This is podcast 13.
Yeah.
We're group 1.
Group 2.
Group 2.
Hospitality.
Yeah. So
First
let's
question.
start with discuss the healthcare industry. You want to start or?
Yeah, sure. I think we kind of touched basis on this in class, and it was determining if healthcare is a privilege or a right, and I think in a way a lot of people think it should be a right, but how would we get people to be able to afford it, and like how would they like the funds for it? So I think it's like a pretty difficult like gray area to make that decision, because like I'm sure there's a lot of countries that have healthcare, like public healthcare, but it isn't great compared to the like private healthcare firms or whatever they have. And I think that they're like I of course, if we're talking specifically about the United States, I think there should be, a cheaper alternative, because healthcare in the U.S. is, I think, considerably way higher than some of the other European or even maybe Asian, South American countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wanna?
Yeah. I think it's a very touchy subject. It's the most expensive in the world by far.
Yeah.
Yet we still don't have the mortality rates of these other countries that are a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. But if we made it cheaper, or if we made it better, it's going to be more expensive. If we made it cheaper,
or like more publicly accessible.
More publicly accessible.
Yeah.
Someone's got to pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
Whether that's through taxes or just paying for it on the spot. I did some quick math in class, and if they were to tax people instead of having them pay on the spot,
right,
it would be about 20,000 a person.
20,000 per. Wow, that's
it's not cheap. And some people don't even need healthcare services sometimes. Like, I know you need your checkups and stuff like that, but not everyone needs surgery every year, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's very like gray.
Yeah, I mean, especially where like some of the examples that we had said in class with like pregnant woman, say she doesn't have enough money to be able to raise a baby, and she had to go to the hospital. Like, do you think people are really, like, if we did make healthcare more accessible, do you think people are like willing to pay for that? And it's just difficult to say, because like I think everyone has different circumstances and different situations, and like people, I would say, I don't know, like there's probably good people that are willing to do that, but I think the majority of people kind of worry about their own lives. They don't really care too much about what others go through. So I think, yeah.
And I feel like they also don't want to lose their job.
Right.
If these nurses or doctors let these people try to just get it for free, they're going to lose their job because they're losing the company money.
Yeah. So it would be, it's pretty, it's difficult to kind of know what to do in these situations.
We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, sure.
Discuss the overall health of the U.S. population. So,
overall health. I mean, like mortality rates.
Yeah, mortality rates, just like
Oh, okay.
obesity stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Okay. So I think um, the overall health, if you're talking about like food and um, food and beverage, like
Mhm.
that's definitely, I think in the United States, like specifically, it's a pretty big problem. Like I don't think people make fun of the U.S. saying that big, like the everything big, like
Mhm.
big houses, big people, big cars, big roads,
Yeah.
and I think that isn't always the best, especially when come talking about like health wise. I think a lot of people in the United States are morbidly obese and they don't nearly have the necessary like like foods to help with that. I think also like in the fast food industry, it's like basically eating poison. For at least for me, I personally think that eating fast food, it's fine to do it once in a while, but I think a lot of people is because their lifestyle, like maybe a 9 to 5, and they don't really have too much work, too much time to like eat a good meal with like healthy,
Time or money.
yeah, health or nutrients,
Mhm.
and that's why there's so many people that are specifically just really fat, like,
Yeah.
and of course cars too. I think a lot of people don't really, they drive everywhere around. They don't need to walk or like it's just probably not very good for the overall
Yeah.
U.S.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the food in the U.S. is a problem. On your point of fast food, I think we talked about this in class, I think a few weeks ago. It's with the Spotify case study, everyone wants it instantly, quick, accessible, and just easy. It's there.
Right.
You know it's there.
Right.
And you know it's quick. So, what's the word I'm looking for? Reliable.
Yeah, you can know.
It's reliable. Like
It's
you know what you're getting every time, and it's like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people like it so much, and they just don't really care that it's bad.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of hormones in the foods nowadays.
Right. And like fake, like of course chemicals.
Yeah, chemicals and hormones, and it's kind of getting out of hand.
Yeah.
It's causing kids to, I find it's causing a lot of kids that are 12 and 13, they look like they're 20.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
It's like deformities or like
they're growing up quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
But also with the overall health, there is an obesity problem, and people. What else? Obesity, food, and
talk about maybe like mental health. Like
mental health. There's a big mental health crisis in America.
Yeah. Especially, I think you can sort of relate to the healthcare system and the jobs and,
Well, a lot of people are making like therapy and all that free now, I find. A lot of people are saying if you need help, you can go to this for free.
Right.
Like, you can get help. But, yeah. I don't know how that relates to the actual healthcare system, though. Like, physical health.
I think that they get too focused and caught up in work and don't really prioritize their their
Mental health.
mental health,
They also-
physical health. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not physical, they don't really see it or see a point to address it.
Yeah.
Next,
Heineken.
discuss the Heineken case study. This was our case study.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting, to be honest. I thought Heineken does an amazing job with their advertising, their sustainability, and their new programs are
Right.
like the Drop the C, the Brewing a Better World.
Yeah.
I thought that was all amazing, and they also provide 0.0 options.
Right. I didn't even
So,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool alternative to
Yeah.
have, especially for like a beer company as like big as Heineken.
yeah, they're doing stuff. They're doing something right, I find,
Yeah.
and I think, although I don't really see Heinekens that often in America, like you don't really see anyone trying to get a Heineken.
Probably like Buzz Light.
Yeah,
But
everyone's getting that cheap American beer, Bud, Michelob, those kind of beers.
Yeah.
But I don't if I saw half the stuff that I saw from our case study.
Yeah. Probably choose.
And I was to drink, I would probably choose a Heineken.
Yeah, I think I would too. Especially, there's more alternatives to it, but I think their focus on sustainability and with the Better Help. Is that what the campaign is called? Better Help.
Brewing a Better World.
Brewing a Better World. Brewing a Better World, and then their like evergreen strategy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's it's pretty important, and if people are willing to pay a little more money for their product, I think it's definitely worth it in the end, because it you're helping the greater cause and the long-term success of things instead of the short-term changes.
Let's see what else.
Drinking age in the United States globally.
Drinking age in the U.S. Okay.
So I think U.S. is the only country, or like one of the few.
No, they're not the only, but they're definitely one of the few
Yeah.
that have it at 21.
Does Canada maybe have?
I don't know about Canada.
Yeah.
No, they're 18,
They're 18?
I believe. Yes.
Okay.
Everywhere in the world, especially at home, it's 16.
It's 16?
Yeah, it's 16.
Wow.
Well, at least it was. I think they just changed it to 18, but no one really cares, and everyone still does it.
Right.
Because no one knows that it's changed. But I can see why it's 21. I understand, kind of. But also, like, there's a psychological factor to it where kids know they can't do it, so they want to do it more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I see a lot of people, I don't drink, but I see a lot of people like my age from home.
Yeah.
They don't really care for alcohol anymore. Like, they've already gone through it at a young age. They've gone through the alcohol, let's drink.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a problem anymore. But here, everyone, since they still can't do it, they just want to drink and drink and drink.
Right.
And it's kind of a problem. But when you're younger and you get it out of the way, and now they see alcohol, they're like, all right, cool. Like, it's normal.
It's more of like a cultural norm.
It's a cultural norm now.
Yeah. I think since I've been raised in the U.S. like all my life, I mean, the drinking age. I mean, I think, you need to be responsible when you're consuming alcohol, because it's, you could probably make some stupid mistakes, especially like driving or walking on the side of the road, and you're not
Stumbling into the
you're right. But I think that if everything that, like, it's like one of the things for me is kind of difficult to say, but like I think if you're able to make decisions like that, you can do things responsibly. Like when you're 18, you can vote in the U.S. and then you can also get a gun in the U.S.
But you can't drink.
Yeah, you can't drink. So I think like I don't really understand like the difference in that and like all that much. I mean, I think if you can give a gun to a person, then I think they should also be able to probably drink alcohol. So.
Well, I think the combination is also a disaster. But,
right.
And like, look at FSU yesterday.
Right, I saw. It was crazy.
Yeah, I have a few friends up there that like literally, one goes to TCC and his brother goes to FSU, which is like the community college. And then
yeah.
He stormed out of class, went and picked up his brother and then left. Or like his brother was running to the car and picked him up and they drove off. Mid shooting, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
I think the roles of consuming alcohol should be switched with having a gun at 18.
I agree, and what they should do is there should be a legal limit for 18 to 21. So if you are caught over this amount, like if you use a breathalyzer, if you're over this amount, then you get arrested or fined or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that is a good way to ease people into alcohol and into controlling themselves with alcohol.
Yeah.
Enjoying themselves, but still being responsible.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to measure that with people.
Obviously, people are still gonna break that, and
yeah,
most won't get caught. But it's still a good way to keep it limited.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's probably a reason why most countries in the world have put the drinking age to 18.
Yeah.
And I guess U.S. is the only few that doesn't do
but
that.
They think, but we can get a gun. We can go get a gun today.
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me perplexes me. I can go get a gun today, but I can't drink a beer. Are we done there? I think we've gone through everything. Anything else you want to discuss?
Maybe we can discuss what we think about the shooting that just happened. Yeah. Because it was a very current event that happened.
From what I know, there were 3 shooters. One is definitely dead. I'm not sure what happened to the other 2. I've seen a lot of videos, very horrible videos.
Yeah.
From what my friend was telling me, he found out like pretty early, like I think after there were the first like few shots, he found out, and then as I said, stormed out of class. Picked up his brother.
Right.
But that's so scary to think about.
Right, your safety is completely compromised.
Like you're having a normal day, you wake up, everything's normal, bang, 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 your whole world just changed.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And like the people, rest in peace to the people who died. But
I think it was like 6 people that are injured or killed.
I just hope they deal with the shooters in the right way.
Yeah.
But what has to go through your head to do something like that?
I don't know. You must really hate society.
Yeah. You're going to kill innocent people who are just trying to get an education, and
Right. And then
what does that accomplish? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then what do you think? I don't know if you saw the video with when they asked like President Trump about it.
Mm-mm.
And he was, I mean, a lot of, I think some people were a little mad because he didn't really fully like address the issue with, he was saying, you know, it's the people that shoot the guns instead of the laws that are enabling people to able to get guns.
He's not wrong, but at the same time he's kind of deflecting it.
Yeah.
He knows it. I think he knows it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Clearly, but that's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Whether he changes the laws or something is another question. There's another topic. Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to, you know, everyone has valid points, you know, like, but I think with like gun laws, I think there definitely needs to be something changed with gun laws. Like that's not, like, you know, it's not the most.
Well, I just remembered, the only reason one of the shooters died was because someone with a concealed license shot him. A student with a concealed license. So that now it's you know, that makes it even more interesting. But yeah, there would be no shooting in the first place. Well, that's not for sure, but there would be much less likely.
Like less likely.
Yeah. All right.
Good.
Good there.
Yeah.